Dear professors and experts, good afternoon. I'm honored to have been invited to speak at this conference. My name is Yuanqing Cai, and the topic of my paper is efficient speed learning with non-ed data. The outline of my talk is as follows. First, some background information about this research. Second, the main work we have done. Third, experimental results and analysis. And the last, a simple conclusion. First, we introduce the research background. Our research is about privacy-preserving distributed machine learning. In recent years, with more and more attention to the privacy of user data, some laws and regulations about privacy protection have been introduced, such as the EU's GDPR. Privacy-preserving distributed machine learning becomes a hotspot. In 2016, Google proposed the federated learning, which can train a joint model with the data of multiple users. To protect the privacy of users' data, the data will not be away from the local devices. However, as AI models become complex with more and more parameters, it's very difficult to deploy a large model on users' devices, such as mobile phones and iPads. Therefore, split learning was proposed. It cuts the model horizontally. For example, in a 10-layer model, the first 3 layers are placed on the user's devices, and the last 7 layers are placed on the server with powerful computing power. Split learning not only protects privacy, but also enables training of large models. However, the training is serial. That is, the model on the first user's device is trained first and then the second, so that when the number of users is large, the training time will be very long. To solve this problem, SplitFed was proposed, which combines the split learning and the federated learning, but it also has the problem that its privacy protection is weak. We will compare the privacy protection of SplitFed and our proposed algorithm in the experiments. Second, we introduce the research contents, including our main contributions, the overall architecture of the proposed algorithm, the distillation loss function, and the incentive mechanism. Our paper mainly solves the 3 problems of split learning: long training time, low accuracy, and the performance will drop significantly when the data are non-ed. We propose a parallel split learning algorithm, which shortens the training time, knowledge distillation, which improves the accuracy, and the incentive mechanism for non-ed data. Here shows the overall architecture of our algorithm. It has a central server with powerful computing power and n mobile devices. We cut the model into 2 parts. The small part in the front is deployed on each mobile device, and the others are each mobile device, and the others are deployed on the central server. The dark blue layer in the model is called the cutting layer. In the first step, each mobile device selects some data from the local dataset by the incentive mechanism. In the second step, these data are put into the model for forward propagation. In the third step, the output tensors of the cutting layer are uploaded to the central server, corresponding to the upward arrow here. After all the devices upload their tensors, the central server will start the 4th step. It continues for forward propagation, calculates the distillation loss function, and make back propagation. After getting the gradients of the cutting layer, the server sends them to the correspondent devices in the 5th step. After receiving the gradients, the devices continue the back propagation. Finally, the parameters of all the models are updated. One round is completed in such a process. Repeat it until the model converges. This is the overall architecture of our algorithm. It involves the distillation loss function in the 4th step and the incentive mechanism in the 1st step. Next, we will introduce these 2 parts. The first is the distillation loss function, f. It consists of 2 parts. The first is L. It's a traditional loss function, such as mean square error or cross entropy. The second is the distillation function. It's the true norm of the difference between the logits of the model n and the average logits of the models except n. Through the distillation function, models can learn from each other. Then we analyze the convergence of our proposed algorithm. That is to prove when the iteration t approaches to infinity, the gradients of the above loss function approach to 0. We use the Robin-Sigmund theorem and some theorems in mathematical programming. The details can be seen in our paper. Next, introduce the incentive mechanism with design. Suppose there is such a scenario. The company has released an AI product which hopes to use users' data and the devices for further training, but it costs users device battery and mobile traffic. Therefore, the company needs to attract users with some rewards. To maximize the profits of the company, the incentive mechanism is designed. Here, the server can be regarded as a company, and the mobile devices represent the users. Based on stackable game, we propose an optimization objective. That is, maximizing the utility function of the server and the mobile devices. The former is the main optimization objective, and the latter is the secondary objective. First, the utility function of the server, US, is the difference between R, which is the sum of the rewards paid to all users, and the log, which is the benefit the model brings to the company. We think the benefits have a logarithmic relationship with the quality of the data according to some references. Next, the utility function of the mobile devices is the difference between the rewards users receive and their cost. Users are allocated from the overall reward R according to their data quality. The better the quality, the more rewards he will get. Finally, according to the information entropy, we define the data distribution Yn. Here, XNC represents the volume of the data labeled C in the device N, and the Xn represents the total data volume of the device N. When Xn is fixed, and the data's volume of all labels is the same, Yn can reach the maximum. So, Yn is an indicator which reflects the uniformity of the data distribution. In the optimization problem, the maximization of UN is a non-cooperative game with n players. To solve the game problem, we first prove there is at least one Nash equilibrium solution of UN, and then design a grid search algorithm to find the optimal solution of the problem, since it is difficult to directly obtain the analytical solution. The third section is the experimental analysis, which is divided into 4 parts. We compare and analyze the runtime of our algorithm, the accuracy with add data and non-add data, and the privacy. First, we compare the runtime of each distributed algorithm on 1 mobile device and 5 mobile devices. It can be seen clearly when there is 1 mobile device. The time of federated learning is the longest, because the entire model in federated learning is deployed on the mobile device with relatively weak computing power. The computation time of our proposed algorithm is slightly longer than that of split learning. This is because the distillation function brings some extra computational overhead. When there are 5 mobile devices, the time of split learning becomes much longer because of its serial training mode. Our proposed algorithm has the shortest time, and the gap between ours and the split learning will widen as the number of devices increases. Next, we compare the accuracy with add data. As seen in the table, there are 3 scenarios. The first one is independent and identically distributed. We say add. The latter 2 are non-add. The second is skewed label distributed, and the third is skewed quantity distributed. In the red picture, the red circle is the accuracy of our algorithm, and the blue star is centralized learning. Centralized learning is using all the data to train a model. It does not protect data privacy, but its accuracy is theoretically the highest. In the situation of data 1, our algorithm is very close to the centralized learning and higher than other distributed algorithms. Then we compare the accuracy with non-edge data. In the situation of both data 2 and data 3, our algorithm approaches to the centralized learning and is higher than other algorithms. We also conduct an ablation experiment on the incentive mechanism. It is obvious from the two leftmost blue columns that our proposed algorithm has the highest accuracy, and all the blue ones are higher than the red ones beside them, indicating that our incentive mechanism improves all the algorithms. But the gap between blue and red in our algorithm is the largest. We speculate this is because the distribution function allows users' models to learn from each other. When their distributions are not the same, the accuracy may be reduced. But the incentive mechanism, which narrows the gap between their distributions, greatly improves the accuracy. Finally, we compare the privacy protection between Splitify and our algorithm. We assume such a scenario. The server is malicious and it wants to steal the user's private data. We choose a state-of-the-art algorithm, GRN, to attack a Splitify and our algorithm. The leftmost pictures are the raw data, followed by the pictures generated with the iterative training. In the attack for Splitify, the similarity with the raw data is very high after 1,000 iterations. But when attacking our method, the rightmost picture is still meaningless. Therefore, it shows the better privacy protection of our algorithm than Splitify. The last section concludes the paper. This paper proposes an efficient parallel split learning algorithm. The algorithm does not keep the synchronization of model parameters on mobile devices, but uses knowledge distillation to learn the knowledge of other mobile devices. Besides, an incentive mechanism is designed to improve the accuracy of the model in the case of non-edge data. Experimental results show that, compared with the training time of split learning, that of the proposed algorithm is reduced by 65%. The accuracy of our approach is improved by 6.8% when data are added, and improved by 125% when data are non-added. In the future, we will consider introducing differential privacy to further protect data privacy. In addition, the incentive mechanism designed in this paper does not consider the issue of device selection. Adding the device selection is beneficial to improve the robustness of the algorithm. Thank you for listening. My report is over.